Hi guys, this is a series of video which will help you to pass the AWS Certified Solution Architect Associate examination. Now cloud is here to stay, and if you are into IT, you need to be aware of cloud services that's provided by the big three, AWS, Google and Microsoft. And if you want to start a career in cloud, one of the first steps in this direction is to get AWS Associate Solution Architect certification. And that's what we'll be doing here. So let's prepare and crack this exam together. This course follows a systematic approach and we will be covering this with a lot of practicals and quizzes. I believe if you are new to cloud and zero cloud experience, you still should be able to gain a lot from this course and you should be well prepared to crack this examination. And if you are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and press that bell icon so that you are notified of the new video. So let's start the journey. So in this section, we'll be talking about some of the architecture concepts that you should be familiar with before we start our cloud journey. If you are already aware, please feel free to skip this section. In cloud world, you will hear this term shared responsibility. What it means is that there are some aspect of AWS ecosystem that AWS is responsible for, and there are some aspect that you as a consumer who is using AWS is responsible for. For example, if you see in this diagram, you have customer who is responsible for customer data, platform, application identity, operating system, server-side encryption, client-side data, and AWS, which is responsible for hardware, AWS global infrastructure, regions, availability zone, edge location, networking database, and so on. So remember, security of the cloud is responsibility of AWS. Security in the cloud is responsibility for the user. So just be aware of this off and the in. So we will look into this term of shared responsibility again and again throughout the course. So at this point, just have a understanding or probably a high level understanding that there is something called as a shared responsibility. That is, one person is not owning anything. It's a responsibility between the AWS, the cloud provider, and the customer who is consuming these cloud resources. As an architect, when you design, you need to know what's the right product and services model that's being used. So in the cloud world, there is 3 services model: IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. IaaS stands for Infrastructure as Service. Let's probably go a step back. This is how your typical application and the infrastructure looks like, where you has to manage everything, right from networking, storage, server, virtualization till application. With the cloud provider, or when you use cloud provider like AWS, you have 3 flavors. When you only buy or when you only provision the IaaS, that's the infrastructure as service, what you do typically is that networking, storage, server, virtualization is handled by the cloud provider, whereas you as a customer manage only the operating system, middleware, runtime, data application. And EC2 instance is a good example which fits into this space. The second is PaaS, or platform as service, where you have networking, storage, server, all up to the runtime managed by the cloud provider, and you as a customer only manages the application and data. Database, application server are typical example of products in this space. And the last is SaaS, that is, everything is being managed by the cloud provider and you as a customer is just consuming it. A typical example is email services like Google, Netflix are all kind of popular examples of SaaS services. So why we need to know this different types of service model? It's because as an architect and in preparation of this exam, you need to know if the product and the services which you are using as part of your solution is part of a service model. You should be aware of which part you are responsible for and for which part is being owned by the Amazon. HA stands for high availability. HA do not prevent downtime. There will be some downtime. Typically, of 99.999. That's up to 5 minutes in a year. What happens that in an HA designed architecture, in the event of failure, application will do a failover and it should be able to recover back. So typically you have an instance and an automated process to get back into that recovery path as shown in the diagram. Fault tolerance is a next level of HA where downtime is absolutely zero. The application is expected to run in the event of failure even with the minimum performance. This is typically achieved by having an active-active setup where there's an identical application running and can be switched over in the event of failure. As expected, fault tolerance is more complex and expensive to work. A shopping cart is a good example of HA architecture. Even if the shopping cart application is down for a few minutes, nobody is going to die. Whereas application used in emergency, medical care, financial transaction systems, or critical financial transaction system, which are more critical and cannot be down, are the example of fault tolerance. As an architect, when you design cloud solution, you should ask business if they're looking for an HA solution or fault tolerance solution. Again, there's a thin line between these two concept, and people tend to get confused. So just have a clarity like what is an HA and what is a fault tolerance, as this will affect your architecture decision. There's one more kind of a topic that you hear is the disaster recovery, right? In the architecture discussion, you hear this term. So in event of any disaster like fire in a DC or natural calamity like earthquake, it affects your servers and data centers. Your application could be down for a period of time. So how can you recover, or how quickly can you bring your application up and running, which was affected by the disaster, is called as disaster recovery. Now there are 2 points you should be remembering with respect to disaster recovery. It's RTO and RPO. RTO stands for recovery time objective and RPO is recovery point objective. So RTO means how fast the application can recover. So you want to keep it as low as it need. It should be as low. Ideally, it should be low. And typically, this is a thing you should be asking your business while designing. And RPO is the recovery point objective, that how much data business can tolerate to lose, and it should also be less. And as you may guess it right now, the lower the value of RTO and RPO, the more expensive your solution will be. Okay, design consideration have the impact on the RTO and RPO time. And lastly, scaling is another architecture term. It's an ability of a system to react to increase in the load. So there is a two typical scaling. You have a vertical and the horizontal scaling. Vertical scaling is where you basically increase. It's typically used for monolithic application, where as the load increases, you increase the size of the instance by increasing the CPU, RAM, the hardware, the CPU and the RAM. So it's very traditional approach, whereas the horizontal scale is where you typically add on instances to the pool of resources as the demand increases. And the benefit of horizontal scaling is it's cheaper, commodity, no outage needed, there's no single point of failure. Whereas in a vertical scaling, you have a single point of failure. You are kind of having a one system, and if that system fails, the whole application is down. Whereas in horizontal scaling, it's distributed across commodity infrastructure. So even if one of those commodity servers goes down, your application is still up. But one of the disadvantage of or drawback of horizontal scaling is it brings a lot of complexity and it's difficult to manage. Today's the hot topic, microservices and three-tiered architecture, typical examples which gets hosted on horizontal scaling. Okay, so these are some of the concept that I thought we should be just touching on before we actually do the deep dive for the into AWS. So from next topic onwards, we will get into the AWS, and this course is like really into preparing you for this certification exam and ensure that you crack the exam. Okay, so have fun, guys. See you soon.